Hello people of the internet, I go by the name of Cyberzak, and this is the first episode of Tips and Tricks with Cyberzak. And I'm just going to go through like the first menu settings and some things you should do and things you should know before you start playing Team Fortress 2. So I'm going to go through everything here you see on the screen, and I'll show you a few tips that you should know. So the first thing you're going to see is this whole layout here, and you see a little message box up here, and as soon as you start I think it'll come up saying a few things, and it'll just say all like the latest items or the latest bulletins and stuff they've put out from Team Fortress, and you can go read more and it sends you a link to their website and blah blah blah. That's cool, but I don't really usually check that out as much. And around this area as well, I think there, if you have new items, it will appear there. And then you've got your start play and you've got browse servers. The difference between these two, start playing, you can also make your own groups with your friends and then go join, so you don't have to join a match and then invite them and blah blah blah. If you do start playing, you can just go through and it'll choose one with the best settings for you so you don't get too high ping and you don't lag too much. And it will just choose the best one for your skill level, I think. I don't know whether it does that. But you've got payload, which you've got to push the cart from one end to the other end, and you've got to do it like in a certain amount of time. Then you've got King of the Hill, which is 1 point and the team's got to capture it and see how long they can capture it for, and there's like a time. Then you've got attack and defense, which you got to capture all the points and are basically attacking and defending. That one's a little bit obvious. Payload race, which is exactly like payload, but instead there's two carts and you're racing between blue team and red team. Control points, which you got usually 4 control points or more or less, and you got to go capture each one, and then yeah, control points is alright. I don't play it that much. Capture the flag, which is very obvious. You got to get the flag, which in this case is the intel, which is usually a red box or a blue box depending on what team you're on. Grab it and run back to your base. And then you've got special delivery, which is the new one that's just come out, where you've got to get the Australium, the golden briefcase, onto the rocket stand and fly Mr. Poopy off. It's very confusing, but it's good to play. And at the bottom here in orange you can also see it says what recommendations for advanced players, all skill levels, and then you've got random, which will just choose a random game on a random server. If you want to learn any more, you can click the question mark up here, and it'll tell you more about them. But then you've got browse servers, which will just go through a whole server list of all the ones that are on the internet at the moment. So as you see, it refreshes all mine. There you go, refreshes all mine. And I've got tons. It's just I go on mine. There's that. But I've got my favourites here as well, and you can add servers to your favourites by putting in the IPs. You can get the IPs from the server or go on the internet and find some. And then you've got like history, spectate, and you can spectate some. You got LAN, which would be like computer to computer. You got friends, which is the matches your friends are in, and you got blacklisted, which would be ones that you don't want to go on. So then you've looked at all them. Training. You can go into training and you can do offline practice or basic training, and you would just train against bots or you would just shoot at targets. I will be showing you some offline practice later between some damages and stuff in my later episodes, because I think I'm going to do about 12 episodes of this, and this is the first one. It says that if you want to check it out, there's these free. And then moving on to the next tab, which is customize, you do have your items, which shows you all your loadouts, which is scout, soldier, pyro, demo man, heavy, engineer, medic, sniper, and spy. I will be going through every single one of these classes and the best to choose from them all, and the best weapons for them all, and the best tips and stuff through in later episodes. We also have backpack, which shows you everything in your backpack. Mine changes around a lot because I do a lot of Team Fortress 2 trading, but we won't go into that yet. And here you go, is all my stuff, blah 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 blah. Crafting, you can craft items. I'll go through it now. If you have 2 items in the same class, by class I mean soldier, blah 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 blah, all these. If you have 2 items in there, you can craft it into 1 scrap and then 3 scrap. So that'd be 6 items, I think. Yeah, that'd be. You can make it into 1 scrap. Then 3 scrap equals 1 reclaimed. Then 3 reclaimed equals 1 ref. And then 3 ref is 3 refined, and then 3 refined. Just 1 ref means 1 refined. That's what I meant to say. But if you have 3 refined, you can make a hat, or you can go trade on trading servers, or do what you want with it really, or just look through the crafting things. If you're a free to play player, and you haven't paid to get the game, and you've just got it and bought any items, you will not have most of this here. But I've had this game on disc and blah blah blah, so I've got a ton of stuff, and you can fabricate and create and blah 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 all your stuff here. There's no point messing around that if you just started. You can also look through the catalogue to see some items and check out their Wikipedia pages and stuff, and if any new items are added you can look at them through here. Personally, one of my favourite items is the last breath for the pyro. Even though I don't use pyro that much, I just think it looks pretty awesome. It looks freaking awesome. And then the Dovahkiin helmet's one of my favourites as well. I had that for a bit, but I traded it. And yeah, you can just flick through there if you want to. Trading, there you go. Friends list, and I can trade with people on my friends list, but I've got no one playing it. Current server, Steam profile, you can add Steam profile and trade. Trading's cool. I give free items to my friends, but I've stopped doing that now. You probably can go on trade servers or whatever and trade whatever you got, if you do have anything. If you're free to play, you won't have much. So that's them 2 tabs, and 3 tabs if you count the mailbox. Now you've got Create, which is replays, and Steam Workshop. Replays, I'm not going to go into this because that's corrupted. Some games, you can be in the game and you can save a replay of your last death, I think, from when you died and onwards, and it just literally records it in good quality, and then you can save the movie off. It's pretty cool. I don't use it all too that much, I just use fraps. Steam Workshop is where you can look at other people's items that they've created for the game, because a lot of people have done that and they've made tons of monies out of it. Like Sniper's got a few weapons from it. I don't know whether... Oh, sorry, I'm burping there. I've just ate some food. I don't know whether these are community-made items, but they might be. That's cool. You've got view promotional codes. I shouldn't really go on this. And you can just see the codes that you've got from the game. I don't think you should really be looking at. You've got new user forum if you're a new user. This is the next tab. You got quit, which is amazing. You know what quit does. You quit the game. Got new user forum, view achievements, and you can view your achievements, and blah 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 blah. I've got a ton of achievements, not all of them yet, I've got 90%. Developer commentary, you can go and look at the developer commentary about how they made the game and what they did. Be a coach, you can go and coach some new people, which you don't want to do, it's a bit boring. And then report a bug, well, you just report bugs. So now, this is the options. You can change your keys around if you prefer different keys. This is all mine if you want to change it to mine, but mine's just standard default. You got mouse, you got audio, video, voice, blah blah blah, all the cool stuff. But what we're really going to look at today is advanced options. So you've got combat options, class specific options, HUD options, replay options, performance options, miscellaneous options, and that's it really. But I'm going to go through them one by one and what you should have ticked and what you shouldn't have ticked. Automatically reload weapon when you're firing. If you're playing as Scout and you're going to be using the shotgun a lot, the standard scattergun, which I'll go into detail later when I do the Scout, which is probably going to be episode 3, you might want this on. I have it on just because I don't like spamming the R button. It keeps my keys free. It just automatically reload your gun when you're not using it, which is pretty handy. I'd recommend it to have it on, but if you're not that person to like it and you think it's a bit weird, don't have it on. Second is fast weapon switch. So instead of having to go through the whole selection menu, you can just scroll, I think. Yeah, you can just, without using the selection menu, you can select your weapons, if that makes much sense. It's good, but I do find the selection menu can be good sometimes. I think it's just scroll and you get all your weapons, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on for your weapons. And then play hit when sound. I use this a lot because it's quite helpful. If you're playing Pyro, basically what it does, if you do damage to someone, it'll make a dinging noise. You can change it to be the quake sound, which is cool. When you're Pyro, it's just ding, 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 because you're constantly burning things. But it's good if you go sniper and you shoot someone around the corner and you don't know whether you hit them, you hear a ding noise, so you know you hit them, or like you fire your flare gun around the corner and you want to know if it hits someone, it hits someone that carry on dinging for the amount of times it does damage to them. But it's cool, I use it, I would recommend that. Display damage done. Now that's good to use because if you're shooting someone, it will show how much damage it's done. And then when you're like trying to mess around with your weapons to know which one's the best, you could tell by having this selected because you can see which one's done the most damage. So you'll see a pistol has a lot of ammo, but it doesn't do an awful lot of damage, and then there'll be a pistol that does a load of damage but not as much ammo. So you can test it out between which does the most damage in your eyes between over the amount of time of bullets you have. So have that selected if you want. I would really recommend it though. Remember, active weapons is good, but I wouldn't recommend it for beginner players, because if you're playing it, just remember what you've had previously. It's the same with both of these. Remember what you've had before you died and previous switches. So if you have your pistol out and you've got your shotgun, and then you switch to your wrench, say you're playing engineer and you've got your shotgun and your wrench out, when you die, when you press Q to quick switch, it will switch straight back to your wrench and then like back to your shotgun just by pressing that. So just remember your previous guns basically. It's good, but if you're just starting out, I wouldn't recommend it. Player sound when the sniper rifle is fully charged. This is okay. I would use it though, because if you've got your sniper, it's got your charge meter, and the more charged, the more accurate, and the more damage it will do. So I would recommend this for some snipers. The beginning, I would recommend it, but after a while, I don't think it's too handy to use. I don't use sniper that much, but I would recommend having most of these on, depending on your skill level. But that's what we're trying to aim for, better skill. So the class-specific options. I don't go through these much because I don't really use this much, but this gives you an alternate menu for the spy. I don't really know what that is. You might want to check that out. I know this is probably some bad commentating that I don't know what it is, but I don't think you really need it. I just use this and it will resume after you shoot. Every time you shoot it will resume, so you don't have to click on right clicking. That's helpful. Hide crosshairs when zoomed in. You don't really want that enabled. Medigun continues healing without holding down fire button. That's okay, but if you're quick healing and you're healing someone, you want to go heal someone else, it can be a little bit of a pain. Display a marker over the person you're healing. I would recommend that. I'm going to select that now, just in case you're healing the wrong person, which I don't know why. And you can get it so automatically calls out for medic when you're under damage, and you can choose how much damage that will select. Just put it to there. Now this is the HUD options. Depending on how serious you are with Team Fortress 2, people like it a little bit different. So you've got the minimal HUD, which will just, if you're doing more tournament based or you're going in for like heavy action, really competitive, you might need this on just to get least HUD and the more out of your screen. Especially if you have a small screen, I would definitely enable this. Turn on colorblind mode. Well, that has a giant hint. It says colorblind. If you're colorblind, please select this. And then use advanced spectator HUD in tournament mode. So it's like the tournament HUD and blah blah blah. So I don't really know what that does, but if you're doing 6v6 and you're like spectating or shoutcasting over it, I would recommend that. Show non-standard items on spectated player. If set, you will be shown the loadout items being used by the player you're spectating, which is good, so you can see your teammates' weapons and stuff. Use glow effect for payload objectives, so it'll glow on the objective you're trying to get. Okay, this is your view model, and you can just change the view of your model. The view model when you're drawing the first person view of your active weapon, larger values will make the weapon smaller on the screen. So I've got it set to the highest. Spectator target ID location, I've just got it on default. You can change it around, but it's best to leave it on default. Hide HUD during freeze cam screenshots. If you could take a lot of screenshots and if you see something funny, I'd recommend this because it clears the screen. Also you can view the world from Pyro, which would be all Pyro land stuff. I wouldn't recommend that. Most of this stuff's not useful here, but we can go on to the replay options. And you can have a look and mess around with the replay options, because I don't really use replay, but I'm going to move on. You can change the performance to disable HTML mods, which would be the mods for the servers, and then you can also disable weather effects, and it's particles and blah. Multiplayer decal limit, change that. I don't know. Do what you want with that. Leave it if happy. Okay, this is the miscellaneous options. I need to take a breath there because I'm very thirsty trying to do all this commentating. If set to automatically have a screenshotter at the end of every blah 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 blah. So that's just, yeah, screenshots. Don't need to worry about that. My voice is slowly depleting. Suicide after choosing a player class, I would recommend that. No, I don't know. Because if you're going Pyro and you think, oh, I just chose Pyro, I didn't mean to, I want it to be Scout, and then you change class, you will die and probably have to wait unless you're in Spawn. You have to wait again to be in the next class unless you're in Spawn. Automatically respawn after loadout changes in respawn zones. That's good. If you change your loadout, you don't have to wait until you die. Draw view models if unset, the first person view of your active blah blah blah. Draw view models, that will draw like your gun and stuff. You want to keep that on because you want to know where your gun is unless you're doing more tournament and competitive. Flip view models, it'll put it onto the other side of the screen instead of the right, so it'll be on the left. your gun will be on left. Disable sprays will disable people's sprays that you can spray on the wall using the T button, and it will just put a spray there of whatever you want. Close the server after connecting to a server. Close the server browser. So the server browser is this, and it will close it once you join. So when you go back onto the options, this is not clogging up, which is useful. I have it. Then you have synchronize with Steam Cloud. This will just remember your files and just help a lot generally. So if I was you, I'd keep it on. I may have just whacked my mic then. Save screenshot to Steam. This is useful if you're going to share some screenshots with friends or other people. My channel's making lots of squeaky noises. It's good. Show pop up, like e.g. Examples like trade requests and marriage proposals and all stuff like that will just come up when you're mid-game, which can be annoying, but I tend to have it on in case someone does send me a request. And then you can choose who wants to send you friend requests, and anyone, no one, friends in game, or friends only. So you can go through the settings and change it to the same as mine if you want, or you can keep it as it is. Right, I think this is it. My chair is squeaking. Next episode, I will show you the best classes and the classes to be and to choose. And I hope you've enjoyed. I hope you've learned a few things about the options. Please check out the channel I'm on, which is MMO Ownage. I think I'm saying that right. And please check out my channel, which is Cyberzack. There'll probably be a link in the description or somewhere else, but I'm more random over there. This is quite strict down to the more giving you the core basics of Team Fortress 2. But I hope you liked it. My name's been Cyberzack. Peace out. Goodbye.